The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge. We've got Aisha Morrison here. Ladies, what's up? Wake up! Y'all know what time
Wake
it is?
up! I feel great. On cue, on cue.
We're here early this morning.
We are. We're doing
9 a.m., y'all.
We're doing the early.
It's fine. It's all good, though.
I love this energy.
Oh,
Start the day with y'all.
You want to start the day with some good stuff, too. All right, let's talk linebackers. Well, actually, first, I know the Cowboys legends made a trip to the Star for practice over the weekend, and guys like Michael Irvin, Tony Casillas. Let's go ahead and play that SOT as well, because he had some good things to say.
I don't have that yet.
Schottenheimer. It's all good. We don't have the SOT just yet, but we're going to get to it in just a little bit. But no, just from what you guys have seen on social media, I know we got a chance to see the fact that the guys brought in some Cowboys legends to watch the practice. They gave some good feedback about what Brian Schottenheimer's obviously bringing new that's different to the culture. Mm-hmm. What have y'all seen so far?
What you got,
from the legends?
Culture.
Yeah.
That is the theme, and it's like it's so early, right? So this is what we get to focus on right now. But I just keep saying it every week because this is how I feel. I feel like Brian Schottenheimer's doing everything correctly. This is everything you want to see from a guy who is taking over. Like I said, we had those doubts, questions. I wouldn't say doubts, more questions like, okay, what is he going to do that is different than we've seen? Because when you're in a system, you kind of have created or been accustomed to certain things, but he's not taking anything that this franchise has done and feel like he has to keep it, if you will. He's making it his own, and I think that's what's exciting. Seeing the legends, like you said, come into the building, the guys getting hyped up and what have you. Again, that is pretty, from my experience covering other teams, that's pretty the norm of when you have a new head coach, regardless if they've been here or not in the system. So I feel like, again, he's doing everything right. It's exciting. I'm excited to be here and see what the guys do in week 3. There's certain things on my little notes that I'm looking forward to in particular, right? And just seeing the guys elevate and keep going. I know Pickens is a guy that obviously we want to see what that connection keeps building with. There were some good things I saw about Pickens doing some push-ups when CeeDee missed a catch, which doesn't happen often, so that's something you like to see. I know we'll get into it later, but just hearing Tyler Guyton taking a lot of accountability, being in the locker room last season, that's something I didn't hear a ton of. So it's just, this is everything that you want. Again, it's super early. Yeah. It's hard not to, jump the gun and say we're going all the way, or okay, we got baby steps. Obviously, we're coming off a tough 2024 season, but yeah, social media is buying in. The guys are buying in. I'm buying in. That's how I feel.
Well, that's crazy because I feel like social media is buying in, and then you have the people that are like, we talking about culture. That's what we talking about. And I don't know. I feel like with this in particular, with us being here and then obviously going through OTAs, obviously there's only so much you can take from OTAs. However, you can feel energy. You can, see how the players are reacting to certain things. We do get to see things like Nicole pointed out to me during practice was like, man, Shotty is everywhere. He touches every point on the field. He's personable. And I mean, even in talking to the few gentlemen I've spoken to, I know you ladies have spoken to, you can feel the difference in just how they are legitimately looking forward to putting this on the field and working up to that point. And to your point, Bree, it is I do think that we did get to see with the legends coming in and stuff like that. I think I heard Michael Irvin say that the energy is just there's a calmness to the team, and I think you see that in their body language and how they're reacting and stuff like that. Obviously in practice, I guess one of the biggest things that stood out to me was just some of the things that they're doing pre-snap to start. Again, they can't show us way too much, but just kind of getting little hints of the things that they're kind of looking to possibly do was interesting for me, and I'm sure we'll get more into that later.
Yeah. We're gonna get into. I know what you mentioned about Tyler Guyton. We're gonna dive into him in the second segment, but real quick, kind of piggybacking off of what Aisha had had mentioned about the culture and the things that these guys are just looking forward to doing. You saw a guy like Wanye tweet, it's fun again. You're
I was trying to remember. I was like, you said it was fun last week. Yeah,
Wanye
a couple
said
guys
it was fun
have.
again. And hearing from Damone Clark, a guy who kind of flew under the radar last year with the new coaching staff. Even he's kind of just a little bit more pumped of what this new coaching staff is bringing. Not only Shoddy, but Matt Eberflus. Apparently, he has some good things cooking up for him. But I do want to touch on the linebackers because we haven't really touched on them this offseason much. But something that they've all mentioned is this scheme is obviously them just flying to the ball. Like, they want to be a physical, fast-flying defense. Stopping the run, though, something that we struggled with last
It's
year.
early, but take them to church.
But just with the new additions, you've got a guy like Jack Sanborn, who could possibly be filling in the shoes for Demarvin Overshown, Kenneth Murray, who they obviously traded for, a couple of guys, young guys like Shamar James as well out of Florida. Do y'all think that this is a new personnel that you feel could do at least a little bit better in stopping the run? With what, obviously, it's too early. It's too early to tell. We ain't seen nothing spectacular yet, but just about, what you guys have seen previously of what they've been able to do.
I personally, this is a group. Don't laugh at me.
We're laughing. Because I feel like I know what you're going for.
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Okay. You got to see it first. Let's just start there. You got to see it first. It's early. It's awful that Demarion Overshown had this season where we just saw the light and it was just taken away with injury once again for him, right? But even talking to him last week in the locker room, you feeling optimistic, right? You know how he is, like, oh, I'm gonna be back by this game. It's gonna be fine. Da da da. He's hyped up. He's got the, number 0. We know when he comes back, even though it's gonna take him time to get to where he was. I'm excited to see him back, but until further notice, he's not in this group. So there is, and we talked about this briefly last week, there's a lot of unknowns. So I'm looking at what's new. I have the ceiling is high in my opinion. I said last week for Maris Leofow, straight up. I'm looking at this group is solid if he's solid. That's that. Jack Sanborn seems like a guy with a lot of energy. Kenneth Murray, I have a little question mark about him just because he has struggled in recent years where he came from. And then Shamar James, honestly, I think it says a lot for the Cowboys. Obviously, there was no movement in the 4th round, so you're sitting there in the 5th round and you decide to trade up for this guy. There's that speaks volumes to me. I have down 2-year starter, keeping in mind that he had the opportunity to go to Georgia, Alabama, and turn those down, decided to go to Florida. I think that also says a lot. Athleticism and what he can bring. I think he's going to be a rotational guy in this Eberflus system. Some concerns when I had in notes with other guys. Justin Barron, I believe you brought him up as well. Undrafted free agent out of Syracuse. And the scouting report says shaky instincts as a run defender.
Barnacles.
Okay, gotta go.
So I'm like, okay. I honestly, I think that one had the biggest question mark for me because we know what the problem is here. So when I look at those two guys, I'm like, okay, what is Shamar James and Justin Barron really going to do? And I don't know if Justin Barron is going to be the guy to help stop the run, but I think he is someone who has decent speed for what that position is. And when you're talking about contributing to what the Cowboys are good at doing technically right now, but stopping the run, no. So what do you think?
Oh, goodness. No, it's going to be important for them to stop the run this year. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about it ad nauseum for the last couple of years. I think, obviously, it starts up front. Ladies, it starts with that defensive interior. What are you getting from that? Is Mozzie going to take a jump? Obviously, you brought in Solomon Thomas, who is a gentleman that does play the run fairly well. He is a little lighter in the butt, but he is able to be physical at the point of attack. Tuia is another gentleman that we saw get some reps last week. He's more of just a wall than a pass rush and get upfield defensive tackle. Like I said, it starts up front. Can they keep these guys clean? Are these guys going to be able to come through and rip through and tackle? And then also, too, when you talk about the linebackers, I will say the difference between last year and this year that I actually appreciate is the fact that there are veterans in this room. Obviously, Kendricks got brought in a little late. But his mentorship is something that the players talked about, and I've been saying for a while now, is that the linebacker position needs mentorship. And so with Sanborn coming in, his history with Chicago and Eberflus, he is a run-stopping linebacker. He has a willingness to do that. I'm wondering, is he going to be the Mike, or if they're going to let Murray be the Mike? Now, I think that Murray operates better at the will position, being able to play a little bit free. And then, obviously, maybe Maris is a Sam, which is what he did a lot last year, which is basically he's just coming strong side, helping, he's scraping, he's making room for the other linebackers to make tackles and things like that. He did a lot of the dirty work last year. So I'm trying to pay attention to who's going to be doing what moving forward. But the only upside, I think last year I felt a little bit more excited about the linebacker core because you had Maris, DeMarvion coming back. You like, okay, you got Kendricks, the veteran. So I was a little bit more excited, but I do like that the Cowboys did go out and get some veteran guys to kind of help these younger gentlemen that are still developing into the position because it does take some time. But yeah, they're going to be asked to. They're going to be asked to do a lot of, like I said, the dirty work. And also, too, I do think some of these gentlemen will get pass rush opportunities depending on. Now, is Micah going to play linebacker? Because
Dun, 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 dun.
because
I hate you.
I could just that's something I'm keeping my eye out on as well as we get into mini camp, into training camp when it is mandatory to be here and all that stuff. So, yeah. I will see how this linebacker core shapes out. I'm not down on it.
Right. It's like not.
I'm not down on it because there's purpose in the way that they put it together. Just we got to see it because this run defense, we've been talking about it for years, and it's time for it to take the step.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a group where they start, like you said, this is a group compared to last year. There's veteran pieces. Now, I think that's the scary part. You've got some success with some and what's going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to add once we get to camp. They like to bring a 1.5 mil guy in here that has some experience and could be bring some more competition. Could be, injuries happen. We all know it's the name of the game. So I feel like this is a group that could still add some spice to it here.
Nicole, where do you think that Damone Clark fits? I wanted to ask you.
He on my list.
Where do you think that he fits in this rotation?
Because you gotta put him. You have to put him. He's not a Mike guy. He's not a guy that's gonna run the defense. So it also depends on what Eberflus decides to do as far as like nickel packages and things like that, and how I don't know, because I'd like to see a little bit more of Maris maybe at the mic. We saw him playing the green dot a lot last year, and even Jack. I'm not sure where Damone fits honestly, but he seems to think that Eberflus has some good things to kind of implement him a little bit more this year. So. I'm not sure. What you think, Aisha?
I don't know. That's what I'm looking at as well. And you're right. He did play better when he wasn't asked to be the decision maker, when he was kind of the guy that, came and helped cleaned up, or he played off ball. I thought that he played better when he was closer to the line of scrimmage as opposed to being, a lot of steps back. So seeing where he fits is going to be important moving forward, but I think Murray is the guy that can make or break this linebacker room. Yeah, as far as like where he fits and what he's able to do, I think Sanborn's your Mike. I think that Maris was. From my understanding, I think when I was on the draft show, that they do intend for him to be the Mike. But if Sanborn can take that over right now and give Maris, if Maris is your best will right now, then you move him over there. You let him do, or your best strong right now, which I think he is, you let him do that. So that's going to be the thing, the shuffling and seeing who's going to be where. All I know is that Shotty said they putting the best guys on the field. And that's what I care about, is that whoever is starting for this team at this position is that they've earned it and that they're the guy that's supposed to be there. So you can start off on a good foot. I'm tired of people coming in the first 10 snaps, they like, oh, y'all don't want to tackle today. I'm really hoping that this defensive line sets the tone early for this team moving forward.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Damone Clark was a guy's name. I was kind of seeing what some of the local writers. I like to see what the local writers were saying, not the national stuff. Just because the local guys are here each and every day, right? Yeah. He was one of the guys on the possible post June 1st cuts, and I was reading it, and it was kind of not as much as other people because he would only free up, well, not say only, but freeing up $3.4 million is what I wrote down if that were to happen. And I thought that wasn't a lot of money, but I guess if you look at it, they got 3 guys that need to eventually get signed here, and they're probably not going to sign on. Though we obviously know Micah's ahead of the list here, but every dollar counts, kind of thing. But I also kind of gone on a little bit off tangent just because Osa had said something in his presser last week that stood out to me, and he wasn't going like against or saying anything negative about other coaches, but he just said, watching film last season, I feel like if I was given some of the tidbits that I'm getting at this point, some of those plays wouldn't have happened. Yeah. And I wonder, when we're talking about like Damone Clark, as Nicole had mentioned, kind of went under the radar. I wonder if this is a guy who wasn't really relevant, but in Eberflus's system, a guy who is known for establishing linebackers. Like this is his bread and butter. Defense is his bread and butter. I wonder if the guy like Damone Clark will not just get more opportunities out of like special teams. He's not going to just be the special teams favorite, if you will. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's gonna help that he does play special teams, though. But I agree. I wonder
for sure. But I just feel like we never really saw what this guy could do this whole time he was here. Yeah. And last year, I don't know. That's just what Osa said to me. I was like, I wonder if that's going to play out with some of these other players. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It kind of he seemed like that was very much genuine. So
yeah, no. If that's how they feeling, that's how they feeling, and that's the information we got.
Yeah. Well, we also got some other good information out of Tyler Guyton. We're gonna take our first break and break that down up next, right here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. We'll be right back.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Up next, waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The CONCACAF Gold Cup is back at AT&T Stadium with 2 doubleheaders. Watch Costa Rica take on the Dominican Republic and Suriname face Mexico on June 18th. Then on June 22nd, the United States meets Haiti and the Dominican Republic takes on Suriname. Don't miss your chance to see the best soccer teams in North America. Get your tickets for both days now at SeatGeek.com.
Woo! Y'all watch soccer?
Yeah. The only reason I started because of Haley. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. The cardio involved.
Sick. I grew up playing soccer. I miss those days.
I hate shooting it when I was a photographer.
Really?
Because why aren't y'all scoring? I'm trying to get back to the studio.
Yeah,
so
the highlights, baby. You going to be waiting.
Nah, I seem like it's about
quite a lot.
Boy.
This about to be lit. Because one thing about soccer games, they be hype.
That part.
Get your tickets.
You heard it here first. It will be lit.
Y'all know what else going to be lit?
Oh, the transitions.
Mini camp?
Yeah, that. This season, hopefully, with Brian Schottenheimer. We didn't get a chance to listen to Tony Casillas' soundbite, but we got it now. Chris, go ahead and take it away.
It was Legends Day on Friday at the Cowboys OTAs, and I just want to thank Coach Schottenheimer for having us out. From the team meeting to the individual meetings to the walkthrough to the the team drills out on the field. It was a tremendous vibe and energy. And I know it's OTAs, but what I've heard, it's a totally different environment vibe than McCarthy was there. Nothing to be negative, but it's noticeable and keeps it loose, but focus on the task, the energy, the tempo of moving to drills and just an urgency and really just having this good attitude and creating some confidence and everything that goes along with that with building the continuity. And Coach Schottenheimer, he has done that. I know it's OTAs, on tap the brakes, but it's one hell of a start. I just saw a lot of team unity out there, and I think that's important when you're trying to build something special. George Pickens look awesome. That's going to be pretty scary on that side of the ball. And the coaches, their passion, how they're coaching, you can tell. And it's definitely authentic. So with that, happy Monday. Look out, Cowboys.
Look out, Cowboys. I like what he said there. A lot of good stuff. But I liked what he mentioned about the attitude. It's noticeable, especially with a guy like Tyler Guyton, who, Bree, you mentioned earlier, he is taking accountability of, his struggles last year. A guy who obviously committed a team-leading 18 penalties, needed some work. My heart hurts. But no, according to PFF, he finished with a 49.4 rating, 73rd amongst tackles in the NFL. Obviously, his rookie season needed some growth and development there. But you heard from Brian Schottenheimer last week, and he had basically praised him, said that he's been one of the first guys in the building this offseason, one of the last guys to leave. He, quote, looks great. And by the way, we actually saw him in practice last week. Me and Aisha and Bree were like, dang, he kind of leaned up a little bit, too.
Definitely.
He's been working, and so just what have y'all seen from Tyler Guyton that kind of gives y'all the confidence that he can kind of man that left tackle position finally?
The first thing that comes to mind is what Brian Schottenheimer said in his presser last week, is that he thinks that what Clayton Adams and Riley want to do fit what Tyler does well fundamentally. And I would also agree with the other tackle on the other side with Terrence Steele. Yeah. Both of these gentlemen are very athletic. They are not the most powerful. Do they have the ability to do that? Yes, but these are guys that can get up in space, that can clamp onto people, that can latch onto people and move people out the way. And so to me, it's also, too, the technical factors. These guys have had different offensive line coaches, different philosophies. You got to me, obviously, Riley and what he did at Kansas State. He comes in, what they've done, what they did with that offensive line there. And then Clayton Adams comes in from the Cardinals with the success that he saw in his run game as an OC there. I think you have two of the better run scheming offensive coordinator type guys in this room, and I think that's going to help these guys in their development as well. So for me, he's already putting in the work. We saw that he's leaned out a little bit, which is important, but also too, Schottenheimer mentioned that schematically and fundamentally that these guys fit. is important to me, and we've seen that. We see that across the league. Some guys just don't fit certain places, they don't do things well. So that's what's keeping me optimistic about him growing this year, is that we could see the technical side get better with him.
I feel like last year, again, it's really early, but listening, I mean, anytime it's a first round pick, the media is just we're gonna swarm him. That's just how it goes. We want to hear what he has to say, we want to see how he's doing, and he was very much last year when the mistakes and the penalties and some of the injury stuff that he was going through, what have you, it was just kind of like, okay, what's going on out there? How do you get better? And it's just like, I just got to do better. Like, there wasn't really any substance to what he was saying, if that makes sense. It was just like, yep, I'm going to do better next game. And then it just never happened. And then we were 8 games in and it was just going downhill, right? But what was different this time is he was, like Nicole said, he was taking accountability. It was asked, going from right tackle to left tackle, was that part of what, like, I felt like it was almost like free bait, where you could say, like, yeah, like, you know, like, it was a tough transition from college and learning a new position, coming to left tackle into the NFL. And he was just like, no, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Like, he was like, straight up, I just have to do better. And part of what I'm doing to get better is realizing I got to change what I eat. And I was laughing because the boy's eating a lot of salmon. Bruh. Okay. But he was like literally going into detail what he's eating. And you can see it's making a difference. He looks a lot leaner. We might have to get some tips. I know I'm trying to get the waist snatched, right. So I might have to hit up Guyton and get that back. But no, like I also like the fact that he had mentioned Tyler Smith and saying that is what did he say? What is the quote? Something mofo. He's a strong I can't say the word, obviously.
Yeah, we get it.
You get it. All right. But I say that because it's letting me know that Guyton has accepted Tyler Smith as this leader. The whole room has. I feel like you kind of saw it last year because Martin was hurt and what have you. But now that he's officially out of the building, I liked, even when we heard from Tyler Smith, I liked the acknowledgement and how he said, yeah, like, you know, Guyton had his struggles. It was a struggle, but he's doing everything right. From that struggle, I see it, and now basically sit back because y'all about to see it. All 3 of the Tylers, Schottenheimer has been impressed with, and God, I don't know how I'm Tyler.
Yeah, they gotta
TB,
stop
TS,
that.
TG.
Yeah, I was like, what are the nicknames going? Literally,
what is it? What is it?
TG, TS, TB. I don't like the TS.
The sociology major in me wants to like do a
man
to find out why this is the Tyler. There's appeal to the Tyler.
It's a lot of Tyler. Hopefully, all of them cook. But no, that's what stood out to me about him. He wasn't taking the bait to make excuses. He was telling us what he's actually doing. He said, what I did last year was not good enough. I didn't meet the standard of what I want to be. I'm nowhere close. And again, early, but it's everything you want to hear. Mm-hmm. And it didn't sound like I've been doing these type of things for 9 years now. You kind of can tell when it's memorized, rehearsed.
Yeah, you definitely can.
And it didn't feel like that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So is Guyton gonna do peak? Don't know, but I feel like he's doing everything to make me believe that there is going to be something you're gonna see out there is different, and you need that. This O-line was tough.
Yeah. And what else? My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say what else you need is depth, quality depth.
Yes.
You can't just have your starting left tackle take that huge step into this year. Excuse me, my stomach was loud. But Awesome Richards, you know, a guy who they're expecting a lot of as well, just because you don't necessarily know if, you know, injuries happen. We've seen that since I've been here the last 2 years. Where it's been just inconsistency with this offensive line because of injuries. So, I mean, do y'all feel like the depth is there with Awesome Richards and Nathan Thomas just yet?
Yeah, Nathan Thomas is a name that is definitely got swept under the rug last year, a guy that I've definitely been looking at to see how he competes. But Awesome Richards has played snaps in this NFL. He's played starting level reps at the left tackle position. He is somebody that Schottenheimer was asked about as well, and he said he doesn't say much, but he just plays at a high level, and that's true. Saw him make some big changes in his physical being last year to be ready and things like that. So, him taking that step and being that reliable swing tackle, because again, there's no more Chumi Doga, and Chumi Doga was your swing tackle type guy. Can Austin Richards come in and man that with this 17-game season? That's something that we're going to be looking for as well. But with Guyton, I'm just, we're going to, obviously he deserves the chance. Tyler Smith saying, he didn't play that well last year. He been there. He know what it's like to be heavily penalized, to have to work on his hand placement, to do all those things. But let me tell you something. If these tackles come on with it, I believe this interior is going to be good. Obviously, you have Tyler Booker. He's going to have his few struggles as a rookie, but whatever. Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, you're hoping that's your interior of the future, and that's where they're really strong at. But if Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton come along, then you're talking about maybe this offensive line taking a step into a level of dominance. So I'm really looking at these two tackles as the big determining factor, because, I think Tyler Booker gonna rumble.
Yeah, same. Even though Shotty tried to play down like he's gotta come in.
He did. They trying to be like, he's just Nugget, and it is. He is just Nugget. But
very
still,
fair. But Shotty did say, to your point, like, Tyler Booker, we're moving him around. Brock Hoffman, we're moving him around. Like, they are definitely want to see, like you said, who are my best players.
Creating competition is what
Do it
they
again?
say. Creating competition.
Y'all are sick.
Not us not believing it.
That's I believe it. I'm just like, whatever.
Don't care. We're big.
Create
Nah,
it
it's hard. I since he came into the Star and took over, as soon as he walked off that bed, him and his family. Okay, his mama had the power suit on.
What?
All right, he got
That suit was fire.
everything.
It was great.
It was. No,
My bad. Sorry.
I'm distracted.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, this is an exciting group. Like, it really is. And I think Tyler Smith is the guy that you want leading this group, and that's who you have. And I feels like Guyton, and I'm sure Booker is feeling the same, but I feel like Guyton more particular is, like you said, he's seeing he wasn't good enough, right? You don't want to be the guy who's continuously not being good enough as a first-round pick. The media's not going to leave you alone, because you got that last year. You could tell he was like, dang, y'all, am I locker again? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So I feel like he's gravitating towards Tyler Smith and letting that, under his wing. And that's that's the guy you want him to be following.
I agree.
I think this offensive line could take a huge step this year with the aura that's or the mentality that they have. Talking to Guyton, he had told me that about Booker, a little funny thing. He had said that he don't speak. He's about his business, and that's what it is. And apparently they have offensive line fines within the group, and they'll fine them for if you don't talk, if you don't say nothing, or if you do stupid stuff. So apparently, because Guyton used to get fined a lot. That's what he was telling me. He said, we're going to start fining him if he don't open his mouth. But he's just so focused. He's a guy that's always locked in every day coming in. So I thought that was kind of cool hearing that. I know.
I feel like he'd be a talker.
No, apparently not. They
No,
say he's quiet.
Nuh-uh. From what I know about him, and
quiet.
even in college, he's intense.
Yeah.
He's intense. And again, I'm for that. I'm sorry.
I'm here for it.
I don't want nobody doing a whole bunch of talking.
That friendly stuff.
No, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you want to be personable and all that stuff, and I don't think he's saying that, but
Yeah.
if he's locked in, he's what?
That just reminded me when you said that. I think Tyler Smith was the one who said, cause he was kind of asked what is different about this year, and he was like, sometimes coach got to tell us we're just OTAs or whatever, but he's sometimes
he did
coach
say
got to
that.
tell us he got to reel us back.
Tyler Smith said that. He said, coaches having to reel them back and that is one thing I didn't say before that I did take from practice. I don't know about y'all ladies, is that they are, as much as they can compete in these competitive drills and whatever, the competitive period, they are competing.
Yeah.
And the defense and the offense, I mean, they talking mess to each other. There's intensity there. And so it does fall into what Schottenheimer said. Well, what Tyler said was hey, coach got to be hey, listen, can't nobody be on the ground. We ain't nobody trying to get fined out here.
Please be cool. I get hyped up when they start the warm up and the whistles be going. I want to jump in. You see how hyped up the
I
music be
love the
going?
way football sounds.
I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. This is so great.
What position on the offensive line are y'all most excited about as far as competition during training camp?
Competition?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We like that word, don't we? Period.
I feel like that's at least for me, it's like a trick because
Sorry.
Is it tackle? Is it left tackle? Because we want Tyler Guyton to win that spot.
I'm going right guard. I think that's going to be fun.
Oh, with Brock Hoffman?
Brock Hoffman, Tyler, Booker.
Barnacles.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they are going to be moving guys around. I
Yeah.
guess I want to see who competes for the right tackle 2 spot. Because Matt
Okay.
Waletzko's still there. Hakeem Adeniji is still there, and then you have a Johnny Cornelius that you drafted. Who takes that right tackle 2 spot? I think is important because Terrence Steele has been, to me, the most reliable person on this team for the last 2 years. He hasn't missed a snap. That's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't missed a snap, y'all, like, and which is a blessing. But you also want to be considerate of him, moving forward and this being a long season. Who's going to be that backup right tackle? Who's going to show themselves as somebody that can take that spot? Because every other spot, Nicole, you talked about it with the depth. You have Austin Richards behind Tyler Guyton. You have Nathan Thomas there. You have Tyler Smith. And then you have maybe a TJ Bass or a Brock Hoffman at left guard. Those guys are kind of interchangeable. At center, you have Dakota Shepley. Again, you have also Brock Hoffman. So it's like you have depth on the interior. That tackle spot, though, that right tackle spot, though, we still have not found out who could man that spot if indeed Terrence still just needs to take a breather. Get some Gatorade, something. You know what I'm saying? Just anything. So that's one of the positions I'm really looking for, ladies. What about you, Bree?
Honestly, I feel like for me, it's going to be left tackle. And that's I'm just stuck there because
I don't blame you, girl.
Because there's such high hopes in the first round draft pick. They're always going to get some extra chances. That's the name of the game.
That's facts.
I feel like if this was another player, we'd be all right. What else we got? So I'm locked in on that. I'm not center. I'm not really. I know I just feel like that's kind of locked in. So interior offensive line, yes, there's going to be a lot of movement, so that's what I'll keep an eye on. But I just want to see what that left tackle is so important. Like, what are we doing if we don't got it locked down?
Oh, it needs to be.
And at what point in the season, my question would be, where it's like, okay, this isn't working. Like, where would y'all at what point?
Yeah. Training camp. The quarterback is coming back from an injury. You don't have time to play these games. I'm just being honest with you. Like, whatever this starting offensive line is going to be, I hope that it's established early. Because, again, you talking about the communication, you talking about the hand signals. This is a new offense. I would like for this offensive line to be established sooner than later. I don't know about you ladies, but I don't want a whole bunch of back and forth. And I don't want to see my quarterback not knowing I don't want my left tackle not knowing where my quarterback's stepping after a drop. I don't like it.
That's facts.
And it has a lot to do with what they're trying to do with the run game as well. Like, as of this moment,
that's why they're marrying it.
There's nobody too spicy.
Yeah.
Like, I know Blue could pop out, and Williams, like, we seen him doing some stuff. Why am I forgetting the other man's name?
The running back, Miles Sanders?
Miles?
I got you. That's what we're here
Sorry,
for.
because I saw him doing some pass catching. Like, there's nobody as of right now where it's like our wide receivers. It's like, and then the running back's like, we don't know yet, right?
don't know
but
yet.
the fact that Dallas outrushed by 600 yards by their opponents last year, that is a concern. But it all starts up front. So I think if the O-line can do what we think they can do, it's not going to really, I'm not going to say, we're not going to need the spicy name, if you will.
Well, we got some spice.
I want some spice.
In that wide receiver room. We're going to take our second break.
Spice.
Talk about who else is spicy in that wide receiver room. All right, we'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the crews. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Weeknd, the artist person, is bringing the After Hours Till Dawn Stadium tour to AT&T Stadium on August 27th and 28th. Catch this all-new show in support of the full album trilogy with Playboy Cardi and special guest Mike Dean. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Y'all listen to the
I
Weeknd?
can feel my face.
A little bit.
You.
Sometimes it can be a little sad. Like,
Yeah.
The Weeknd?
yeah.
I can't listen.
I,
Go to the concert if you enjoy
find out.
if you enjoy falsetto.
All right, welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Of course, we talked Tyler Guyton. We talked about this offensive line. We've talked even the defensive line, linebackers a little bit. Now we got to talk wide receivers. We talked about the spice. Bree mentioning the spice in this wide receiver room, of course, with CeeDee Lamb. You got George Pickens, but who else can bring some spice? Jalen Tolbert is trying to this year, and we heard from him in a locker room about a week ago, I believe. Let's hear what he had to say about what his offseason work has looked like.
Truly sharpening everything. You never want to be stagnant as a wide receiver, and so just continue to work every aspect of a wide receiver position, whether it's route running, releases, whatever it is, top of the route. So just continuing to grow, continue to stack days.
No,
Yeah.
just a nugget.
no.
Yeah.
I know.
Is Jalen Tolbert ready to take the next step? I'm going to just go out there and just ask.
Let me tell you something. You asked who can bring some spice? Baby, if Jonathan Mingo step up, then that will spice up some things in that room. And that's it. With the addition of Pickens, of George Pickens, it does, we talked about it, it should take pressure off of a guy like Tolbert. It should take pressure off of a guy like Jonathan Mingo. But I do think there is a legitimate competition.
Oh, yes.
The Cowboys went, obviously, Jalen Tolbert was drafted in the 3rd round. Baby, Mingo not that far behind. They gave up a 4th. So depending on how you evaluate them, there's legitimacy in that competition maybe for that wide receiver 3 spot. Now, I do think that Schottenheimer would lean more towards Jalen Tolbert, but there is a new crew in here. So how does that work? So that's the one, Nicole. You talked about who can make it spicy. Jonathan Mingo can shape. If he plays well, he can shape the difference in how we look at this wide receiver room. Because if you got a wide receiver 4, and then you sprinkle in some Turpin and all that stuff, then now your weaponry is like, you're loaded at this point and at the wide receiver position, and you can really stress defenses. What you got, girls?
I look at this room. George Pickens spiced it up the most because everybody now in this room, I don't feel like went down a spot. I feel like they went down 2 spots, if you will. Like George Pickens is solidified. I say that because we know what CeeDee Lamb can do. We know it's the CeeDee Lamb's team, right? George Pickens now is in the mix. Those 2 guys can afford to have a drop pass here or there, off practice, in my opinion, right?
Hardly gonna happen, but yeah.
Exactly. But, I mean, like I said, when CeeDee drops a pass, like, he dropped a pass.
Yeah.
Cool. Jalen Tolbert drops a pass. Go write that down.
And that's what be happening too.
Yep.
I'm not.
That's what be happening too. They be like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel the same about Mingo as well, because there are people under them too. And that's what I'm looking at as Pickens knocking people down. Like him coming to the room has hopefully lit a fire. And Jalen Tolbert being a big one because we have seen him make those big plays in big moments, but we also have seen him do the opposite. It just hasn't been consistent. And it was a little bit of letdown. And I think we might have talked about last week, Schottenheimer. I thought it was interesting when he was talking about Tyler Guyton making all these changes that we just talked about, and he compared it. Nobody asked him, but he compared it to Jalen Tolbert. He's like, let's be honest. When Tolbert came in here, not very great rookie season. And he put in the work, and last year, I remember I sat down with Tolbert during camp, and he was the guy that Dak Prescott was saying he worked out with the most last season, which you hoped would have translated more. Not saying it didn't. Like I said, he did have those plays. He did have those weeks where it felt like he was that guy, and then he kind of got diminished. And I feel like when CeeDee was injured and dealing with that, you were hoping that Tolbert would step in and be able to, and that could have been schematically too. I'm not going to just say it was just Tolbert out there not catching balls. Like, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if we saw what we saw last year, that man is in trouble.
Let me ask you something. We've always talked about the fact that Jalen Tolbert plays his best with Dak. Do y'all think that Tolbert will only be as successful when Dak is healthy?
yes.
I think that's the whole room.
Straight up. But I think because Jalen Tolbert is another guy that Dak looked for a lot in scramble drill. When you go back and look at some of the biggest plays that Jalen Tolbert made last year, it was when Dak was just scrambling, looking for someone, and Jalen Tolbert came back to the ball or made a big play, extended a drive, things like that. And so that is something to build upon. But I do feel like it is essential. But I do agree with you too, Breeze, that that's the whole room, baby. We've seen, obviously CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee, Pickens, we don't know.
Yeah, they're going to get theirs, but it's just so much more of a smooth sailing operation when your quarterback's at the helm. And I think Jonathan Mingo would like a word. So
I have heard and seen Mingo's name a lot in these last little couple weeks here. Like,
I'm telling you, if he end up being your 3 or whatever, how many teams have a third corner that they can depend on? Friends.
Please. Please.
Sorry. It just came out of me. I couldn't help it. But yeah, like, you're going to be, that will really change the face of, and how people prepare for you too. Because that's the thing, girl. Like, teams didn't care about Tolbert. I hate to say it, and that's just the reality of it, is that you also have to earn the respect of the other team for them to give a dang about you running a route out there, even though they know CeeDee's banged up. They still running with CeeDee banged up, and they still shading a safety over there because they like, he can't get off a press. What I'm worried about him for?
yeah.
So, I don't know. That's the game within the game that's important to me too. So.
And without having another weapon out there outside of CeeDee from last year, I also look at, we haven't talked about him this show, but we talk about a lot, Turpin. That's what I'm saying. Pickens actually knocks everybody down 2 spots because we have a special little man named Turpin who proved that we know what he can do, and I am going to be optimistic that he's going to be utilized a bit more. So now it's really like, when Turpin's in there, Jalen is actually your 4 already.
Yeah.
Like right now.
It's
or
tough.
5. Or 5, yeah.
So with Turpin, do you ladies want to see him more in a receiving capacity rather, or do y'all want to also still see him doing some things out the backfield, mix and matching with this running back room? Is there a spot that you see you would like him at more?
No,
or
his speed can
you
be
want him to do
utilized
everywhere. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I do. I think you want him everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, even like with CeeDee, sometimes they were using him out of the backfield, kind of switching things up a little bit. So yeah, I mean,
Do you think we see less of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I mean, I like it, but
it was to
I get it. I get it.
I get it,
I
but-
didn't like it, and I don't want my number one wide receiver taking hits like that.
It's also
not
desperate a little
necessary.
bit. It also felt a little like we have to do this because that's like one of the only ways we can. No, let Turpin do that little.
Yeah,
let-
and I don't like seeing like I'm so used to CeeDee popping off. I don't like when they like it's -1 yards on CeeDee because now I feel like he's got to go do something and like I didn't like it because I was just like that is our best weapon and they just stuffed him. Stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't like when I see him with negative yards. I should never see him with negative yards.
I was like,
Y'all are sick.
Nah, we got all this. We just
now
got
you
all
making
these.
him look bad.
We just gave everybody 1.5 mil in that running back room. Let's go. Stop playing with me, please.
I'm sick of y'all. All right, we gotta go. This has been great. We'll see y'all back here next week for our last show until training camp. But for now, we've got Brianna Aldridge, Aisha Morrison, for Nicole Hutchison. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!